first public hearing. This is the second of two public hearings for the adoption of the millage rate and budget for the City of Orlando for fiscal year 2019-2020. At the first hearing held on September 16th, City Council adopted the proposed millage rate and tentative budget. At this second hearing, City Council will consider for adoption the final millage rate and budget. Madam Clerk, would you read the title of the millage resolution?
City of Orlando millage resolution. Resolution of the City of Orlando, Florida, establishing the ad valorem tax levy millage rate upon the assessed real property and business personal property tax rolls of the year 2019.
The proposed millage rate for the city for fiscal year 2019-2020 is 6.6500 mils, which is 8.86% higher than the rollback rate of 6.1090. Is there a motion to adopt the millage rate?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Stewart. Brian?
Good evening. On July 22nd, City Council approved a millage rate of 6.65, adhering to all the trim guidelines. The millage rate was proposed again on September 16th. An advertisement ran in our local newspaper last Friday, September 20th. This final rate has remained the same throughout the entire fiscal year 2020 budget development and within the parameters outlined by the state. It is also not changed from the prior year and is intended to maintain the city's programmatic levels of service.
Okay, I'm going to open it for public comment. I don't have cards on the millage rate. I have cards for the budget itself. So close the public comment. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay. Madam Clerk, would you read the title of the budget resolution?
City of Orlando budget resolution. A resolution of the City of Orlando, Florida, adopting the annual budget of the City of Orlando, Florida for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2019 and ending September 30th, 2020.
Brian? Yeah, we can do go ahead and do a motion. How about a motion for the budget? So moved. Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Brian?
The total proposed budget is $1,362,715,923, including a general fund budget of $517,211,834, and has not changed since our first public hearing. Budget in brief and Commissioner notebook, as well as other documents, have been available on our website, in addition to the information included in this formal budget resolution.
Okay, this one I do have three requests to speak. Let's start with Luana Gelser.
Luana Gelser, 7674 St. Stephen's Court, Orlando, Florida. I'm here before you today just to go on record to state that I'm very concerned about several things that are in the budget and how we need to do better. With a budget of almost $1.4 billion, and it can go down to 1.3 and some change, I'm very concerned about, number one, lack of funding for infrastructure. At this day and time, we have to do better for all the citizens in the city of Orlando. I am very, very concerned that, like I stated before, we're number one, unfortunately, for pedestrians' death and bicycle death. And when everybody want to be sustainable, have alternative modes of transportation, we need to do better for infrastructure, but more so for our streets maintenance also. And in this infrastructure, I'm very concerned about old communities and when are we going to start looking at the drainage system and is it equipped for what's about to happen? I feel like in this budget, I'm very concerned about we should protect for everybody, especially the urban communities and communities of color. I will go on record again stating that I'm very concerned about air quality or the lack of monitoring being placed in very vulnerable communities. Federal protected wetlands still being gobbled up and not being properly protected. We're supposed to be a sustainable city. But more so, I'm really concerned about affordable housing and how in this budget I've seen money earmarked for affordable housing for the solution. Over the years of coming here for the last 20 years, I watched individuals who might not have the expertise, I'm not questioning your sincerity or how you feel, to understand about affordable housing. Affordable housing is serious and it's a matter throughout the country. But when you're identified as number one for lack of affordable housing, maybe we need to change the policies and procedures. And one of them we need to do is accountability. We need to have an accountability organization that comes in and audit our books to make sure the money that we're earmarking to these organizations are actually giving us a return for our investment. And right now, I feel like we're not getting our return for the investment. So the citizens are saying we need affordable housing, and we're looking to you to find the right things and to do the right things. But maybe you need to bring in some other ideas and things that have worked somewhere else. Because currently, I just feel like we're dumping money into an empty barrel, and it's not giving us the return. On October 22nd, 2018, I came before the City Council, and I'm going to go on record again. I asked for a forensic audit of the Paramore Kids Zone. I still today need that to be done because that's wasteful spending. And if you do a forensic audit, you will clearly see misappropriation of funds, double dipping of staff, paying the rent of staff, even paying someone's family member rent that never lived in the community. Do a forensic audit. You will soon find out how serious this matter is. And once again, Mayor Dyer, we have the money. If you earmark it properly, we still need a health disparity study in the Paramore community with a $1.3 billion, $4 billion, whatever we want to look at, and you're being a responsible party. We should have now, because you told the Huffington Post you didn't have any money last year, but this year you're supposed to have put some funding. And I always go on record saying, we, the City of Orlando, are a responsible party for the contamination in the Paramore community. The EPA have said it, it's documented. So there's a health disparity study needed. It's less than $100,000. Participate and let's get it done to make sure the rest of the people in the community are safe and not just continue to do remediation for new projects in Paramore like Creative Village, the Fire Station 2, Orlando Police Headquarters, the soccer stadium, all new projects. But the people who live in the community, whose demographics are utilized to get brownfield grants, and others have not received even a health disparity study. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Jonathan Blount.
I'm thankful to be here today. I'm thankful to be anywhere today. Some of you may have heard I suffered a home invasion. I invited some people to take a bath and a shower and change clothes, and they ended up being armed and they beat me. And they was hospitalized, and I had to jump through a plate glass window to escape. And it just started
Jonathan,
down.
I have not heard anything about that.
Yes, and
Would
I've
you,
had
just for the record, though, go ahead and do your name and address?
Yes, Jonathan Sebastian Blount, 1786 West Columbia, and I've had some mental health issues that I've battled, and thank God, the doctors are really, really good today, and my family and my friends are supportive. So I'm so thankful today just to be here to say that after more than 5 years of discussion and your research, that I hear that the city, under the first adopter program from Steve Hogan and Craig Ulster, that the SALT program, which provides hygiene for the homeless, is kicking up into high gear. And in fact, it'll be a demonstration project where they got the 4 hot shower stalls and 4 toilets and a $5,000 trailer full of accessories, and Clean the World provides all of the implements and tampons and all these things. So that this program is going to have a demonstration in Paramore at the Harvest Baptist Church on the 5th. And we understand that the Downtown Development Board is now looking at the program along with Martha R. as a program that we can extend every weekend so that we can clean up downtown Paramore. If we can't house them, we can at least give them dignity, we can give them cleanliness, we can give our downtown a little brighter shine. And I thank you, Mayor Dyer, for your leadership in this initiative as well. With respect to the Black community and its participation in this budget, I don't know how we can drill down to the numbers to see what we've actually gotten as a people, as a percentage of the population in terms of the recalculation and the redistribution and calibration of taxation. But I'm sure that there's a way to do that, and I would hope that that accountability matrix that Juana mentioned is implemented in the future. And Commissioner Ortiz, I thank you for initiating the concept that HALA, the Hispanic welcoming organization, be extended to Homeland so that it is extended to everyone. And I hope, Mayor Dyer, that will become another one of your outstanding and innovative initiatives. And I just want to say that thank you. The Bronze Kingdom, in its first year, was voted by Orlando Magazine Orlando's best art gallery and museum. I think that deserves. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you, Jonathan. Steve Merkel.
Be safe out there, Jonathan.
Steve Merkel, 1771 Walker Avenue, Winter Park, Florida, 32789. Before I begin today, I would like to state that I am a City of Orlando firefighter, proudly serving our community for the past 12 years. Since my hire date, I noticed massive changes throughout the city. In the past 10 years alone, the city has grown from 234,000 people to 291,000. This is an increase of 24% or 57,000 employees. Sworn firefighters tasked with protecting the citizens of Orlando has only increased in this same time period from 522 firefighters to 539, creating only 17 new positions or a 3% increase. This has left the city severely understaffed in certain neighborhoods. To give you an example, Station 11 over on the east side has 47,000 residents in one fire station. To put this in perspective, the city of Winter Park has 3 fire stations covering 32,000 people. Now, this understaffing has led to Station 11 to have 48% more citizens than Winter Park, with 1/3 the fire personnel protecting it. Furthermore, the city of Ocoee has 4 fire stations covering 46,000 residents, and City of Paca, which has 6 fire stations for 53,000 residents. Now, Station 11 is not an isolated event. Station 12 over on the west side has 34,000 residents covered by 1 fire station and 5 on-duty personnel. This severe understaffing has led to more fire fatalities in 2018 than any other year in the history of Orlando, including the tragedies of a house fire that took the lives of an 8-year-old little girl and her grandmother trying to save her. This understaffing has been acknowledged under the city budget, which states this city has had steep staff reductions, but attributes it as a positive because we are more efficient and effective. I find this statement very disturbing and disrespectful, considering the losses of lives and the potential for more. Now, Mayor Dyer, you may not have noticed this because you live in College Park, covered by Station 3, that has 15,000 people for 1 fire station. But put this in perspective to Station 11, that covers an area that's 94% larger than College Park, with 3 times as many residents. For a city that prides itself on being fair, equal, and public safety, I find this problem unacceptable and something has to be done. In closing, the Orlando Fire Department is a great fire department. We're one of the best in the nation. We have great men and women working hard to support it. If this city continues to grow at this rate, we need to keep hiring more firefighters. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have any other requests, so is there discussion on the budget? Hearing none, all in favor? Sorry. Wait, I got Commissioner Ortiz first.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the announcement. These are outstanding. These are very strong numbers that you have just put out there. I would like to, for staff to, if we get a chance, I'd like to sit down and discuss this, because there's a pretty, if those numbers are right, which I would imagine that you have done your due diligence, I want to know why the disparity in terms of the service that we surrender, that we offer from power stations to the community. So when we get a chance, and this is nothing we're going to discuss right now, but I want the staff to, let's have a meeting and discuss this. Thank you.
Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor, and let me read the statement I have for the last 14 years, I guess. As you know, I have served for many years as Executive Director of the Christian Service Center for Central Florida. The budget for this year and many years prior to my service at the City Council has included funds to provide a modest grant to the center. The amount of that proposed funding for this year is $25,000, and none of that money goes toward the general operations of the center, of course, my salary. These funds, however, will not be granted to the Christian Service Center unless and until the Christian Service Center and the center enter into a separate written agreement. Such agreement will come before City Council for individual approval in October. I want to make it clear that when this specific item comes before the council, I'll abstain from voting on the item. The funding between the city and the Christian Service Center will fill out the proper documentation noting that information. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, this will move to the next public hearing. This second of two public hearings for the adoption of the millage rate and budget for the Downtown Development Board for fiscal year 2019-2020. At the first hearing held on September the 16th, City Council adopted the proposed millage rate and tentative budget. At the second hearing, City Council will consider for adoption the final millage rate and budget. Madam Clerk, would you read the title of the millage resolution?
Downtown Development Board Millage Resolution, a resolution of the City of Orlando, Florida, establishing for the Downtown Development Board the ad valorem tax levy millage rate upon the assessed real property within the Downtown Development District of the year 2019.
The proposed millage rate for the DDB for fiscal year 2019-2020 is 1 mil, which is 22.88% lower than the rollback rate of 1.2967. Is there a motion to adopt the millage rate?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Brian.
On June 13th, the Downtown Development Board approved their millage, and on July 22nd, City Council, on behalf of the DDB, set the millage rate of $1.00 trim guidelines. The millage rate was proposed again on September 16th, and an advertisement ran in our local newspaper last Friday, September 20th. This final rate has remained the same throughout the entire fiscal year 2020 budget development process and is within the parameters outlined by the state. It's also not changed from the prior year and is to maintain delivered programs.
I don't have any requests for public comment, discussion. None, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, Madam Clerk, read the title of the budget resolution.
Downtown Development Board Budget Resolution, a resolution of the City of Orlando, Florida, adopting the annual budget of the Downtown Development Board for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2019 and ending September 30th, 2020.
Is there a motion to adopt the budget?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Stewart. Brian?
The total proposed budget for the Downtown Development Board is $4,402,541. Not changed since our first public hearing. The budget in brief and Commissioner notebooks as well as other documents have been available on our website in addition to the information included in this formal.
Okay, I do have two requests for public comment. Lawana Gelser.
Lawana Gelser, 7674 St. Stephen's Court, Orlando, Florida, zip 32835. I start off by saying I'm very concerned about this process because you are the CRA, and I know we're talking about the Downtown Development Board and the money, the 4.4, but in the CRA, over $40 million is being allocated, and when you look at the current budget, it's just one little line item. It doesn't break it down to what I've been able to uncover. So my question to everyone in this administration, what do we have to hide? And why is it so difficult to find out how we're spending other money that is earmarked for downtown, especially CRA? I asked some questions and I'm going to go on record again asking these same questions. In the proposed budget, I was very concerned that over almost $4.5 million was allocated for Paramount Oaks Phase 1, 2, and 3. I asked about the Orange and Robinson Pocket Park, $1,250,000. I still cannot find anything about the downtown master plan, which is a new plan that we're going to do, that we're allocating $1 million. I'm concerned about the public park, Creative Village, Central Park, $7 million that was mysteriously came about in 14 days. And then the district revitalization, $1 million. And I say that because there was supposed to be a CRA meeting. I know we had the storm, but it got canceled and moved. So my concern is on record, the process. If you vote for this, how is the amendment going to be? Well, we can talk about what amendments that can be made to this budget. I know you have to make adjustments, but actually changing something and giving somebody $1 million or whatever we're proposing to do in October or November, there needs to be a better plan with this kind of funding, with these kind of changes, because all we could do is just wait till after the budget process is over, the hearing process is over, and then make amendments and hope nobody don't catch us. So I'm going on record saying I have a problem with this process especially, and because I have business in the CRA and the downtown zone, I'm very concerned about, is this truly corporate welfare, or is this trying to bring businesses downtown, or what I think select, special interest groups and select projects. I would like the same process to be applied throughout the city that is applied here, meaning they need to get in order, because accountability is failing our community, and with this kind of money being spent, I have a problem with that. So I just want to go on record, the process, even though we were talking about the downtown development, they both meet at literally the same time. They have the same board members, and while we canceling meetings right around budget time, I understand the storm, but we didn't get hit. We didn't get hit. We were blessed. So I'd like to know how money is being spent prior to coming before the city council and see what's going on. But when it's changing and you can make adjustments at a later date, it makes me go, what do we have to hide? So I'm still going to want that information, and I'm going to go on record again. Mayor Dyer, if they could find $219,000 to put some tree grades to protect the trees and create a village, the trees, $219,000. But you could not do a health disparity study in the Paramore community. What are we telling the people of Paramore? The trees are more valuable than the lives of the people in the community. And I came before you on the 16th and said we had enough death in the community. It should make people wake up if a 7-year-old has lost their life because of respiratory problems living in that community. I'm not exaggerating. This is a serious matter. Yes, I've reached out to others that are going to help us, but I say this, we, the city of Orlando, is a responsible party to this contamination. And you put the people of Paramore on the back burner, and you put the trees before the community. And that is wrong. That is wrong, and I'll keep coming up here no matter what, you hear me or not, and say that. Thank you.
Jonathan Blount. Hey, Jonathan, wait till you get up here to the mic.
All right, we found some mystery money that magically appears from time to time of $6 million to save some trees over here by the television station. So it's amazing to me that mystery money appears if there's an initiative that has the popular sway. So I am hoping that that's going to happen, because the Creative Village project and the Park project, and I've been working on that from its conception with the president of UCF and all the arts Craig Ulster and everyone. And so what the Bronze Kingdom is going to do is they're going to donate a $500,000 Benin King statue to the Central Park. And anything that is purchased, the Bronze Kingdom will also match it. So we are investing and willing to invest in our community and our heritage and our history. And we hope to be able to be a part of the process. There's also this great concern about Checkers Park. We have these new houses that are going in. They seem to be opening almost imminently. I drove past them on Paramore coming here into the 408. And Checkers Park is still infested. It's still rat, roach, vermin infested. People are still sleeping there. And they're literally, I counted about 70 people today. And you've got these new families coming in. And man, I hope that you're going to make it a priority. And the Downtown Development Board is going to make it a priority to ensure that this problem is eradicated, cured, gone, done. You can't have these new families coming in here. You can't pour new wine into old bottles. And then finally, Dr. Charlie Salter passed yesterday morning. And she was one of the people who initiated me into Orlando as I was initiating president of the Paramore Business District and the Chamber of Commerce. And we initiated Operation Clean Sweep, where over 7 weeks I amassed over 700 people and volunteers. We moved 700 tons of solid waste. We cleaned up for the World Cup in '94. And so I think with our new neighbors coming in downtown, I think we need another Operation Clean Sweep for Paramore. We want to welcome our new neighbors, our new students, our new faculty, and I'd like to be a part of that effort. And maybe we're going to get a neighborhood improvement district designated for Paramore, Main Street designated for Paramore, because Paramore is still one of the greatest places in the universe. And the people that have come from that dirt are some of our greatest leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. No, I didn't know Ms. Salter had passed away. So. Okay, discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right. We'll move on to the Downtown South neighborhood. This is the second of two public hearings for the adoption of the millage rate and budget for the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District for fiscal year 2019-2020. At the first hearing held on September 16th, City Council adopted the proposed millage rate and tentative budget. At this second hearing, City Council will consider for adoption the final millage rate and budget. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title of the millage resolution?
Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District Millage Resolution. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, and the Board of Directors of the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District levying an ad valorem tax at the rate of $1 per $1,000 of assessed value on non-exempt real property located within the jurisdictional boundaries of the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District, providing certain findings, providing for administrative millage adjustment in accordance with the Florida statutes, providing for the collection of taxes, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, repeal of conflicting resolutions, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Shin, second by Commissioner Hill. The proposed millage rate for the Downtown South NID for fiscal year 2019-2020 is $1 million, which is 8.96% higher than the rollback rate of 0.9178. Brian?
On July 10th, the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District Advisory Council recommended their millage, and on July 22nd, the City Council, on behalf of the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District, set a millage rate of $1 adhering to all trim guidelines. The millage rate was proposed again on September 16th, and an advertisement ran in our local newspaper last Friday, September 20th. This final rate has remained the same throughout the entire 2020 fiscal year budget development process, as within the parameters outlined by the state. It is also not changed from the prior year, and is to provide administration and infrastructure projects within the district.
Okay, I'll open for public comment. I don't have any requests or appearance requests. Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right. Madam Clerk, would you read the title of the budget resolution?
Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District Budget Resolution. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, and the Board of Directors of the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District adopting the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget for the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District, providing certain findings, providing certain budget accounting procedures, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, repeal of conflicting resolutions, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Brian.
Total proposed budget for the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District is $1,345,065. It has not changed since our first public hearing. Budget and brief and commission notebook documents, as well as others, have been available on our website, in addition to the information included in this formal budget resolution.
I don't have any requests for public comment, so discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, so the motion passes. Without objection, we're going to recess the city council meeting. We're going to convene the board of directors for the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District. This is the second of two public hearings for the adoption of the millage rate and budget for the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District for fiscal year 2019-2020. First hearing held on September 16th, the Board of Directors adopted the proposed millage rate and tentative budget. At this second hearing, the Board of Directors will consider for adoption the final millage rate and budget. Clerk, would you read the title of the millage resolution?
Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District Board of Directors Millage Resolution. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, and the Board of Directors of the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District levying an ad valorem tax at the rate of $1 per $1,000 of assessed value on non-exempt real property located within the jurisdictional boundaries of the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District, providing certain findings, providing for administrative millage adjustment in accordance with the Florida statutes, providing for the collection of taxes, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, repeal of conflicting resolutions, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. The proposed millage rate for the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District for fiscal year 2019-2020 is 1 mil, which is 8.96% higher than the rollback rate of 0.9178. Brian.
On July 10th, the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District Advisory Council recommended the millage, and on July 22nd, the Board of Directors of the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District set a millage rate of 1.000, adhering to all trim guidelines. That millage rate was proposed again on September 16th. An advertisement ran in our local paper on Friday, September 20th. This final rate has remained the same throughout the entire fiscal year 2020 budget development process and is within the parameters outlined by the state. It's also not changed from the prior year and is to maintain or is to provide administration and infrastructure projects within the district.
I do not have any requests for public comment. Is there discussion among commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, Madam Clerk, title of the budget resolution, please.
Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District Board of Directors Budget Resolution. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, and the Board of Directors of the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District adopting fiscal year 2019-2020 budget for the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District, providing certain findings, providing certain budget accounting procedures, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, repeal of conflicting resolutions, and an effective date.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Brian.
Total proposed budget for the Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District is $1,345,065. It has not changed since our first public hearing. Budget brief and commission notebook documents, as well as others, have been available on our website in addition to the information included in this formal budget resolution.
I have no requests for public comment. Is there a discussion among commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the motion carries. We'll adjourn without objection the Board of Directors meeting. We will reconvene the City Council meeting for the purpose of thanking our staff. Brian, you guys have done a great job this year. It's nice when we have a little bit more money than we had the year before. It certainly makes budgeting easier than those years where we had less money than the year before. But how about introducing your staff or having them introduce themselves, whichever way you want to go about that, and tell us what they do.
I'm gonna put them on the spot a little bit.
Go ahead and stand up, guys, everybody.
Evening, Commissioners, Mayor. Jason Lekevich. I'm the budget analyst for the executive offices, housing, and economic development.
Kevin Pierre, and I'm the budget analyst for transportation, public works, and Orlando County.
I'm Ricky Vanderoff. I'm the budget analyst for police and families, parks, and recreation.
Lizio, I like long walks on the beach. Wrong meeting.
He just got married a little bit ago.
No, I'm the budget analyst for fire department at the Office of Business.
So, and we've talked about this a lot, but you know, here we couldn't do it without the departments as well as their fiscal operations. You know, their fiscal managers are a lot of work goes into this budget process. As you know, we started this back in December. Now we're here, so get ready to start back up pretty soon. Get a little break, but it is a testament to the decision making of this body as well as of all the departments and the around the city. So we're glad to be a part of that team.
Well, thank you, Brian. Let's give our staff a hand.
So he thought he was going to get out of it when the analyst came up, but Martin Carmody, our budget division manager, also leads. So can you just at least stand up? I won't put you on the spot.
All right, we have a budget, so we'll stand adjourned.